You gotta light it for everybody.
So beautiful. Let me see if I can tilt this more so they can see this gorgeous, beautifully handmade crystals here.
So selenite.
Gorgeous. Look at that.
And here's our beautiful candle.
Wow.
This will just stay up here.
There we go. Wow, that's very pretty.
There. Yeah.
That is so pretty. Okay.
Exactly.
So let's see who's joining us today.
Yeah. Happy.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So I just want to say that you are stunningly talented at creating these amazing crystal bracelets.
Thanks,
By
Chrissy.
hand,
I
I'll have
love
you
to
know.
do it,
Yeah.
actually. It's very... Hi, Kathy V, Roxanne. Aloha Hoi.
Pretty, huh? Aren't
Yeah.
they gorgeous?
This is going to be a little more challenging to put these little beads in here because I don't have my magnifying glass.
Hi, Tack.
Hi, Tack.
I know, they're so pretty. There we go. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and the one that I'm making is going to have carnelian in it. And this is the one that we're going to give away on your angel class.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. And it has carnelian, it has tiger eye,
So
it has
pretty.
red jasper, we all love, and it has ocean jasper, which I love.
Now, Vera,
Yes.
out of curiosity,
Yeah.
what does carnelian do?
Carnelian. Oh. Oh my God. Carnelian is a stabilizer.
Okay.
It helps with our moods, and it has that beautiful. Oh, let me show you. This is. Can you show them?
Yes.
Because you have better nails than I do. It restores our vitality, our motivation. It stimulates creativity, promotes courage, and with courage comes success. Right?
Kind of orange.
Yes, it's the orangey reds, and it's golden too. I mean, there's different.
Aww.
Some are darker, some are lighter,
Hi, Eric.
and yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
these
what
are
carnelian does. And you keep talking, Chrissy, because
Look at
What?
Home Shopping Network.
yes,
Kind
Tat.
of look like
And
that.
we're showing you how we do them.
Okay, so we're going to start off with talking about
Yes.
Billie Holiday.
Right. Oh,
And-
have you guys seen the movie? Oh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh, okay, I haven't seen the movie, but Vera told me about it.
Yeah.
It is intense about her story.
shoot.
Oh, there you
Sorry.
go.
I
saved it.
I do sometimes curse.
Well, shoot is not, that's okay.
Well, I cleaned it up for the audience. Yeah.
Hi,
So
Sheikah.
Lady Day, oh my God, she was very talented. She grew up she had a really hard beginning in life.
You're not kidding. So it was
Yeah.
during the 20s, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Where is she?
Hi, Neat.
Hi, Neat.
And
Thank
Purple
you all
Fuzzy.
for the birthday wishes. That was so kind
Yeah, that
of
was
you.
fun.
Where is she? Where's my
Hi, Sophia. For Sharon. Yep, it did. It did go up, and Angus is over here. So she's flanked
Yeah.
by Michael and Angus.
Yeah, so she grew up
Hi, Melissa.
and had a really hard childhood, this Billie Holiday. She grew up it's kind of like her mother became a prostitute. So she had to go along with her mother, right?
And she was only, how old was she?
She was young. And then I believe when she was 13, she was sold to another brothel. So
awful.
that's kind of like sex trafficking, right?
Yeah,
and she was only
totally.
13 years old.
I know.
They were waiting for her to become a woman before they, but before that she was always at the brothel and
God.
she saw all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the past life that and she had a hard time with drugs and everything else.
But what's amazing, so she's a singer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, what's the song that she used to sing that was real popular?
The song you said was, oh gosh, Fruit.
No, not that one.
No, not that
There was
one.
another one. She got in trouble for singing Strange Fruit because it was
Right.
about lynching. And she was from the South. and she was told she could not sing that song anymore because people were really resonating to it, and they were getting riled up.
Right.
And they're saying that she
And
was
they
a
want-
menace to society because she was singing it instead of stopping lynching.
So it was, it was just bringing up our own empowerment.
Right.
Everybody was voicing and feeling from the
Yeah.
situation that she was singing about, obviously lynching, and it was coming up that it wasn't right. It's not right, and
Oh, damn it! I said a bad word.
and so then she was being followed
Yeah, by the FBI.
by the FBI.
It was
Even
a
wanted to stop her.
black agent. They had a black agent following her around, and every time she went out to sing, you guys, she would have the whole front row was all federal agents.
Because they arrested her.
And then they would have a policeman in the back. So if she sang the song, she was in big trouble.
Right.
And then finally, because she couldn't speak her truth, I believe, is when she started really, I'm sure because you're going to different bars and things like that, you start drinking, and then you start drinking because it helps you to really get in the groove, you think, right? Instead of doing it on your own. And really, it's kind of like also to forget, right? It's self-medicating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
when there's something going on in our life, it's like escapism.
Right. And she thought that was the best way that she could really perform for the audience. So she became alcoholic, and then of course it went on to other things that she did. And I can't remember the name of the song because they called her Lady Day, but she was really popular for one song. But she started singing. She sang Strange Fruit, and then she got locked up. She got locked up for a year and a half. So she kicked the heroin habit when she was in prison, and she decided she was just going to, do it on her own. And
that's awesome.
And just go out there and do her thing. But she had a bad habit. She didn't know how to pick the right people to be around.
Oh no.
Yeah, so they were
that's
constantly using her and taking her money and things like that. And the people that did stick with her, and no matter what, if they were paid or not, she eventually dumped them to the curb and went with a guy that just totally used her.
Oh no. Well, it's because she probably knew.
Well, she was falling in love with the federal agent
that was following her.
And he was in love with her, and he wanted to be with her, and she's like, no, you deserve a good woman. And one of her friends that was around her all the time, a bandmate, said that she looks like $1 million on the outside, but she felt like nothing on the inside, that she wasn't worth anything because of what she had to do when she was young. Right.
Yes.
So the past life that I first picked up for her was she had a life as her parents were a prince and princess in Africa, and another village came and invaded their village, and she was kept as a slave, and she was only like 3 or 4.
Oh no.
Yeah. So supposedly Queen Victoria, I think, sent an emissary over to talk to this king and tell him to stop doing this, to stop selling these girls.
Wow, good
and
for
boys.
her.
It wasn't just girls.
Oh.
Yeah, and so she...
That's awful.
Yeah, so the guy that came to talk to the king, he goes, no way, I'm not stopping. You can't stop me.
Right.
He goes, but I'll give you her as a gift so you'll get off my back. So they gave her to this guy, and she was just, 3 or 4 in this past life. And so he took her because he was afraid of what was going to happen to her.
Right.
Right? If he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So whenever she got to England, she took his name, or he gave her his name. And then Queen Victoria took care of her, made her her godchild.
Wow, that is so
after
cool.
that, she had a great life. She was taken care of. She married a man that was wealthy and all that. So she had a pretty good life after that.
You know what I find fascinating?
What?
Is it's really interesting how in that life she escaped having to go through that.
Right.
And then in this life, she ended up experiencing that part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, she was literally saved in that other lifetime,
Right.
but in this lifetime, I mean, wow.
But for her, it was really important for her to be in your truth. She kept saying that throughout the movie. And I know there's dramatic effect and all that, but it was important for her to be able to sing what she wanted to sing. I mean, but she was in the deep South, and it just was not happening.
But see,
in this lifetime.
That's amazing, though, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because she came from that experience.
Right.
That's why she could sing about it. She knew more about it. She knew how it felt. And then that really comes across in music or in any way, right? But for her, it was really that song that really resonated and hit people right there.
Yeah, and she was really bluesy, and I don't know the exact name of the genre that she was in, but the music producers and all the people that were around her was telling her, you're too black. Can't you sing like all the other black singers that are right now that are real mainstream popular?
Good for her. So she was sticking to her.
And she's like, if I can't be me, then I don't want to sing.
So there we go with truth again, huh? Sticking with her truth.
Yeah. So I got
that's cool.
Another past life that was more, because I kept going, that one princess one was pretty good, but there's another one that kept coming to me, and it was like, it's about truth. I kept getting truth, and I'm like, okay, but what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I remember reading about, I don't know how to pronounce her first name.
Oh.
So her last name is Truth.
Wow.
And she was a women's advocate. She was an advocate for slaves, and she helped the North get black slaves to join the Union Army.
Wow, and this was during the 1800s, obviously, during the Civil War time.
Yeah. But I believe Billie Holiday was one of her daughters. Her name was I don't know how to
Sojourn or something?
Sojourner.
Okay.
Truth. And that wasn't her name at birth, but she named herself that because truth was so important to her.
Wow.
To the mother. And of course, being the children, they're around her all the time. And she did a speech at a woman's power rally or a convention or something like that. In, I think it was Ohio or somewhere. Because, she just talked off the cuff. It was not planned talk. They just asked her to come up and talk. She had nothing planned.
Wow, so that's her gift.
She spoke from her gut, and it was like the best. That was what she's known for.
Wow.
And it was called Ain't I a Girl?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I want to go, read it.
I know, me too.
That's really cool.
And then so she fought for women, like I said before, and blacks and everything like that. And anybody that was down and out, and nobody would help them, right?
Right, because you also said that those who had served in the Union Army were promised land and like an mule.
Acre and a mule or something like that.
And they weren't getting it. And so she was fighting for that too. And you also said she was the first person who sued her own
slave owner.
Yes.
Because her slave owner sold her son illegally.
Somehow.
Even with their weird... whatever you call it.
But she
won.
She won.
She got her child
She got her son back.
But then she had to leave because her life was in danger.
I'm sure.
So her and Sophia, which would be Billie Holiday, took off. And that's when she started going to conventions and, started really being noticed and vocal. So that Billie was around it.
Right.
And to her, truth was very important.
Everything, yeah.
So
this is an amazing story.
So that's what was so important to her. And it was so horrible. I mean, on her deathbed, the FBI set her up and made her husband plant heroin so they could arrest her. And by that time, she was already dying of alcoholism. And because she couldn't be with the guy that she fell in love with. Oh. So she just kept drinking and until her liver just gave out. And so she was in her hospital bed, and they had her handcuffed to the hospital bed, dying. She wasn't going
Oh
anywhere.
my gosh, that's horrible.
And as she was dying, they arrested her again.
See how threatened
Oh
they
my
were
God, I just can't believe people
by
sometimes.
the truth.
Yeah.
But good for her, because no matter
Yeah.
what, she stuck to her truth in that lifetime. She
Well, there's
did.
times where she kind of screwed her friends, because really what she wanted to do was get away from the agent, and they were with the agent because he became their friends, right? And so she had called her pimp, I called him a pimp, but her manager, who was not good for her.
Oh.
And then he came and got her and took her away, and all her bandmates are going, man, what are you doing? You know, we're here for you. And she left. So she kind of left them in their lurch, and they had no money or anything. But it was because of she didn't want to be around that guy. You know, she had to get out of there. And it was kind of like she knew she was going to her death. You know?
Wow. But it was
keep saying
charted
that.
that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that is amazing that she lived that experience. She survived her childhood, going through that.
Yep.
She didn't have it in the other life. She had it in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sang out about it.
Yeah.
Spoke out
What is
about
anybody
it.
saying I'm not reading?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. And then they did, I think it was like in the 1930s, don't quote me on the date, but it was around her time, because I don't know when she died. She died in 59. But I think in the Senate, they tried to pass a law,
You're not going to believe this.
that anti-lynching law. And I believe it was in the 30s. I could be wrong. It could be closer to 40s or whatever. But it didn't pass, right? But that was back then. Well, guess what?
You're not going to believe
In
this.
2020, they tried to pass it through the Senate again. 2020.
And it passed through the House,
It
right?
passed through the House, not the Senate. In 2020, there still is no anti-lynching
An
law.
anti-lynching law.
I just don't understand.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh my gosh, that's like,
yes, it's awful. But then, get this, Strange Fruit, the one that's about lynching,
Yeah.
that she was not supposed to sing or anything, became the song of the century.
how amazing is that?
That is
So it's like
that's her legacy right there.
Yeah, her death catapulted
Yeah.
that song to being that high up on the. So it was like everybody was just totally
And even like when she was performing,
touched.
the white audience wanted to hear it.
How cool is
You know?
that?
But she was like, "Oh, sorry, can't sing it," kind of thing. So
I want to go listen to it now.
I know it's oh yeah.
Except for the word. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she actually saw one. So that really
she was singing from her experience.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a powerful story.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Very
So-
cool. Okay, next
Next
Is
this is
Shaquille
Brewster.
Brewster.
Oh my God, I love this kid.
This is really cool.
And he is actually he's a reporter on MSNBC. And I saw that he had this big port stain birthmark on his forehead. So I'm like going, oh, start writing. And where is he? Where are you, Shaquille? So he has like a kind of a upside down boot on his forehead. If you ever see him, it looks like a boot. So the first past life I got from him is he was a Roman gladiator.
Wow.
And there is like the thing when we were going to the Colosseum, or we were actually going to our hotel. And the taxi driver told us that we were on the longest road to Rome that everyone used to use. It was just one long road. And so as a Roman soldier, his job was to walk up and down the road. He wasn't the only one.
How many?
But to keep the peace, right? To make sure there's nothing going on. And yeah.
How far that is.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
But
seriously.
keeping the peace. And then he was reporting on the trial that's going on right now.
Wow.
With Mr. Floyd, right? About him, the police officer. So what I also got,
And this is interesting.
yeah, was that he was, I believe it was like in the 1800s, and he was in the north, was it?
Yes, you
Yeah,
said north.
And he had, because he was born in the north, okay? He was actually born free. His parents were slaves, but he was born free because they made it to the,
That's really cool.
So, but he owned his own, all I could see in the store, because first Chrissy was going, well, was it a general store? No, all I saw was cloth. I don't know if it's just clothes or just clothing or cloth that you can make clothes. So that was his little store that he used to sell stuff out of. But he was finding out about the Civil War was starting, right? Was it starting or already started? He was hearing rumors or rumblings from the Underground Railroad kind of thing. You know how you hear stuff? And then, so he was starting to talk about it in his store. He wasn't going out into the public and, you know, shouting but he was telling people in the store what he was hearing or what he was reading and that kind of stuff. Well, there was people that did not like that. So, and I just now got Boston.
Wow.
I don't know if that's, so he was, I believe, in Boston.
Gosh.
And he was speaking out about all the stuff that was going on. And then he was leaving the store one night.
Oh,
you know, like
this
he
is making me
did.
sweat. Oh my
And
gosh.
he was attacked. A pack of, or a gang of guys got him. And they were beating the holy hell out of him with the intention of killing him.
Right.
Right? And, but what they did, and they didn't tar and feather him, but they held him down and they poured this tar thing into his mouth. Almost like it was like they wanted to cement his mouth shut.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
You know, but they kept, of course, beating him and all that. But as they were, and they stomped him on his head, that's where he got the boot.
Oh my gosh.
The boot.
Oh,
so that's
my
a reminder.
Gosh, no wonder. So it's a double whammy there. Wow.
So, yeah, but he got away. He got away.
I cannot believe he survived
I know.
that going in his mouth also, and the
Yeah.
beating and his head trauma.
Yeah, so he got away somehow, and he was trying to scream with all this stuff in his mouth. But they all took off, but he still stayed in his store. I mean, he still was doing what he was doing. He still talked even more about talking to people about the political climate and all that. And he was starting to send money to the Underground Railroad.
So it sounds like, and then he must have taken precautions so that he would be safe.
So that's like a reminder to speak up.
Oh my gosh, that is so
speak your truth.
Cool, because look at him in this lifetime.
Yeah. He's a reporter.
Yes, and
he can speak.
Yeah, he's speaking out the truth.
Yeah.
Revealing what's happening.
Yeah.
That is
so cool.
So amazing.
Yeah. And he's so poised. You know, when you see him, if you want to check him out, I don't know how often he's on there, but he's on the trial, so you might be able to see him while the trial's going.
What an amazing example of being a warrior. Mm-hmm. Because not only did he do that in the Roman life, he was doing that in that lifetime as being a store owner.
Yeah.
So it shows us these different examples of being a warrior.
Yeah.
And
well, the Roman life, he was kind of had to make, I mean, that was his job. He had to keep the peace, and, you know, whoever was messing things up, they would take care of it, right? But he was still protecting, you know, even though it was for Rome.
And in the 1800s life, he was protecting
that
as well.
That was more so about this lifetime.
That's by spreading information.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. Getting excited. Okay. Yeah, very strong soul. Okay. We have to go back, Vera, because there are
my gosh.
questions.
And then we have one more for a subscriber.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, and I have to really apologize, but we never could find you, Stephanie King.
I know.
We looked everywhere.
I know.
I swore I answered the question.
Know. Exactly.
But we don't have it anywhere. So, we're going to...
All right, I'm going to go to her question.
Give one that I get now. It could be a second past life that... if it's not the same one as the first one, but this is what I got for this time.
You know, and I wanted to say, I remember one time that there was a viewer, and you had gotten a past life for them regarding their birthmark. And then there was another a video and you had gotten a different past life in regarding their birthmark. It reminds me of what you just talked about with Shaquille.
Well, look at Sammy. I got 2 different lifetimes on one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like we have this mark, but it doesn't mean it's from only one lifetime.
It's just the one I happened to give you at the time.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's amazing information about Mr. Brewster you just got. Okay, so Stephanie's question. You ready?
Stephanie's question.
Okay.
And this is another truth one. It's Truth Week.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I had a big purple bubble, round, raised birthmark on the right side of my forehead. It's commonly called a strawberry birthmark.
And then we have, but medically called up, and that's it. We can't get any more.
We can't find
the
the rest of the question. It's not on our video where the first part is. But
so what I got for you, Stephanie, go girl, was that she was what do you call it? She worked at a school for girls, and it was like in Germany, and it was kind of, it felt kind of like the Sound of Music kind of time frame. So I don't know what was going on then, but so she found out, and she loved her girls. I mean, she was protective. She made sure they did their work. I mean, she was mother hen, right? And then she found out, because she started noticing the girls were acting different, and yeah.
Oh no.
So she finally got one of them to tell her what was going on.
Yeah.
And the headmaster,
I knew he was going there,
was a man,
right?
Not a woman. I thought they would be women.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a man, and he was abusing some of the girls, right?
Right.
So she stood up to him. When she found out, she went right into his office.
You go, Stephanie.
Yeah. And she was telling him how it was, and that she was going to turn him in, and all this stuff.
Did he offer?
Yes. But you're very smart. So she went to bed, but she would go to bed in the common room with the girls.
Oh,
they weren't in individual, they had rooms before, but it was like 3 or 4 girls to a room, or 2 girls to a room. I can't remember. But she made them all sleep in the common room.
Good. So she changed that.
So they could be all together.
To protect them.
And to protect them. Well, in the middle of the night, she got bashed.
Oh, no.
I mean, it killed her. I mean, it was like her head was open, right? But what the headmaster had not realized is that she already turned him in. She didn't, because she knew something might happen, but she was willing to stand up for the girls. Yeah. She already had turned him in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great job, Stephanie. I'm so happy she did that.
And then when the girls saw what was done to their teacher,
yes,
they surrounded him. He wasn't the one that killed her. That guy took off. But they went after him, all the girls, because there was a lot of them.
Good.
And he was just this old, you could have gone like that.
Bag.
Yeah. And they held him there until authorities came. And it wasn't going to be till the next morning.
Yay, girl!
Yeah. She was like, oh, yeah. She was there
happy.
until she knew, she was dead.
So
but her spirit was still there
there.
until she knew that they were safe.
This brings me tears to my eyes, because it's like, that is an awesome story.
Stand in your truth. That's what it is.
Protected her girls.
And she knew that if what she did, because, girls were, expendable property or whatever, at that time frame. So
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was that.
That is so great.
Yeah.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome story.
Yeah. So if you guys want to know about birthmarks or past lives, put your name in the comments, but make sure you're publicly subscribed or I can't answer.
Right.
We have to make it fair for everybody.
That's an awesome story.
And please know, it's one, I can't answer you over and over again about your past life. If you want to know more about the past life, then you would have to have a service or find it for yourself.
Right. Exactly. And then that's where Vera has her letter questions and readings and all these different types of services at selovesyou.com. Okay. I'm looking at Aslan's drawing.
See, synchronicity, neat.
Aw, see, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I know Tack asked a question up here about Billie Holiday, and I looked at it.
Well, I'm so sorry I couldn't watch it because I was doing my cute little
I
bracelet.
know. Do you guys know if there's a past life connection between Andre Day and Billie Holiday?
Oh. If there's a past life connection, well, we'll have to find out, won't we?
Okay.
Yeah. And really, Billie Holiday wasn't her real name. She called herself that.
Okay.
Because her mother, I believe, married a Holiday, but it was spelt different. And that was her biological father had that last name. And I don't remember what her first name was, but it wasn't Billie.
And then, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is just so cool.
John's nose blowing is on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So thank you so much for joining us for this amazing day.
Finished it.
Look at it.
Yeah, so I now have to just tie it off and see if I like it.
That is so pretty.
Yeah, so this one's a powerhouse because it has all those things that I told you guys about.
It's really cool too because it's like one that both men and women can wear.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or unisex, whatever you call
it. Very cool. All right.
Thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. We love you. And Vera?
Journey with us.
Okay. There we go.
Happy Easter.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Happy Easter.
Tomorrow, yeah.